Hello pilots and welcome to MotionRC.com. Today we have another new product in the RotorScale lineup of helicopters. That is the BO-105, an extremely capable helicopter in real life. If you've never actually seen one of these, Red Bull has one that they actually do loops with. So it's one of the only helicopters in the world that can do loops. Pretty darn cool. Now, when you get yours out of the box, there's a little bit of assembly, but not much here. On the canopy, you have the choice of either running with or without windows. If you decide to put the windows in, just get you a bottle of your Freewing contact cement. This comes with almost every one of our Freewing models. Or if you want, we also sell foam tack here at Motion RC, and that foam tack will work great to put the windows in and it won't fog them. Be very cautious not to use CA. If you use CA, it will put a white film on the windows that's going to look really bad, so don't do that. Now, when you go to put your windows in, something I forgot to mention, make sure you peel the protective plastic off the window before you glue it in. It will make it much clearer and look a lot better. Other than that, you also have to screw on your pylons for your ordnance. It takes 2 screws on each of the pylons plus 1 that goes into the actual ordnance. Not hard at all. And then the last thing you need to do is apply the water slide decals. Now these have a transfer film on them, so you're going to put the decal on, and then you're going to let it set for around a day to a day and a half till they're fully dried, and then you're going to peel that off. I do like to use a little bit of spray away glass cleaner to clean the fuselage before applying the decals because that keeps them on there and stuck really well if you clean it first. Do not use Windex, it has ammonia in it and that will hurt your paint job. So spray away glass cleaner or just plain old dish soap. One of the two, that's what you want to clean your helicopter with. After you get your decals on, there's not a lot left to do. On the back of the aircraft, you're going to see there are 2 vertical stabilizers on the tail. Those just screw on with 4 screws. And then you need to put your main blades on. Make sure you put them on where the blade is going to be doing a clockwise rotation. If you get one backwards, it'll still fly. Trust me, I know, but it sounds absolutely awful and it will probably damage your helicopter. So make sure you get all of your blades the right direction. I know that's a simple thing to say. There's a lot of new guys that are picking up these helicopters. You got 4 blades, make sure you do it right. I did it wrong once. It can happen to anybody. Now, speaking of the main rotor blades, I will say they are painted black to give a better scale appearance, and they're also thinner than they originally were on some of the birds that we were testing, because that really gives it a better scale appearance. You also have your exhaust detail that comes weathered for you right out of the box, and the aircraft does include the flight battery with it, and a charger, and a radio, just like our other ready-to-fly models here at Motion RC. The cool thing with these is you do not have to do any kind of calibrations when you get these out of the box. They should come out of the box, you plug the battery in, you take it outside, and it should be set up for you to go have a successful flight. Another really cool detail of the BO-105 is it is fully scale lighted around the aircraft. You have a nav light on both sides of the tail. You also have a beacon underneath the aircraft and a beacon on the top of the tail of the aircraft. These are all addressable with 1 button click from the back of the transmitter. I believe there are 5 settings total on the light controller that you can go through for different settings in flight. The cool thing is they're on the controller. You hit the button, you can change the lighting sequence in the aircraft right there in flight. Now, just like all the other aircraft in this lineup, it has a gorgeous paint job. This one's finished in a Philippines camouflage livery. It is actually a true-to-scale paint job. And what you'll notice when you get any of these RotorScale helicopters in this line is the paint jobs on them are magnificent. You'll see it's done to a flat finish, but it's a very smooth finish, so the decals still stick to this aircraft really well. Well guys, I think we've talked about this enough. Let's get this helicopter over to the flying field and let's take it up and show you how good it flies. All right pilots, we've made it out to the flying field. First thing I'll tell you, if you look around us right now, it's a big open field and no trees. Make sure when you're flying these, you don't want to do it in a confined space because the worst thing you could have this thing do is hit your house or anybody around you. So a big open field to fly in is the first thing I'll tell you. Now, to actually power the helicopter on, we hit these two buttons right here on the transmitter to turn it on. If any of your switches are not at the top, you're going to get an audible warning. We want to flip it to run, cut. So we need to take all these switches up to the top. Then this one here on the sides, it says run and cut. We want to put that in the cut position. That'll make sure that the main rotor blade can't spin up. At that point, what I'll tell you, grab the back of this helicopter, then the canopy, and pull forward, and it'll come right off. If you push down on it, you might break the skids. So you want to make sure you hold it and pull this straight out. If you don't do it that way, you may break this. Be careful with that. I've already charged up our included battery. We're going to take that, plug in the XT60 connector right here to power it on. Then leave the helicopter still, and you're going to see the main rotor blade will, there we go, do its little dance. And now we're going to get a blinking blue light on the front. What we need to do is let this set here for about a minute, and that's going to change to a blinking green light. Once that's ready, we're going to be ready to fly. But I'm going to wait for that and show you it now. And as you can see, now it is a solid flashing green light. What you'll notice with our transmitter stick, if we were to take and arm it, if we push this down into the corner for 5 seconds, you'll see it turns to solid. That means you could actually take off now. But we're not ready just yet. Let's put our canopy back on. Simple as just lining it up and slide that back on. If it doesn't fit for some reason, stop. Make sure you have everything tucked out of the way of the canopy. It should just slide right on like that. All right, let's step back and let's fly it. All right. Now that we're actually here, in order to actually start the helicopter, we're going to take this stick down and to the right, hold it for about 5 seconds. Then we're going to reach up and flip this one to run. You'll hear the tail rotor come on and the main blade start to power up. Keep your hand here in case anything happens. You can always kill the helicopter with this switch. All right, we've heard the blades go to normal. Now we can add a little bit of the throttle or the collective stick, and the helicopter will come off the ground. Now we're in full GPS mode, so if I just don't touch anything, you're going to see it's going to try as hard as it can to stay exactly where we leave it. In this mode, it's basically like a drone. So we have this stick, turns it left and right with this for yaw. This stick makes the helicopter go forward. If we ever want to stop, we just let go. It'll come to a stop. Forward. Comes to a stop. If we pull it backwards, the helicopter will go backwards. Once again, we can always just let go and it'll come to a stop. This one over here, if we push it, it'll go left and right in the drift. Get a little altitude. There you go. And that's how that works. And so you can just start practicing. Keep it in a small area at first and just fly it around and get used to the helicopter. Now, for the party trick of this helicopter, it's a little bit different than some of the other ones. If we go out here and just park it for a second, and I can take this switch right here that says circle or off. If I flip that down to circle, you're going to see the helicopter is going to fly a perfect circle without any stick input. There you go. If we want it to stop, we just reach up and flip that to off. And it's going to come to a stop. Being careful not to flip this switch because it will fall out of the air and crash if you do that. That is your emergency kill. Now, let's get a little altitude and I'll show you some of the other modes. So we've been flying in GPS, that's where you can just let go of it. If I flip it down once, this is called angle mode. You saw the helicopter drop a little bit. I have to add some collective to hold it there. And in this mode, it's just self-leveling. So you can see I can still kind of crank it around. If I let go though, the helicopter's just going to keep drifting and going forward. And I have to kind of balance the stick in order to keep the helicopter at the altitude I want. And it's a lot faster in this mode. So if you see, it really goes in this mode. Now the final one is real helicopter mode. And today, Captain Drone's gonna put it in real helicopter mode for you and show you I actually know how to do this, I hope. It's been a while. So we're gonna set it up there, we're gonna get it ready, and down into real helicopter mode. And now I'm flying it. So if I let go of the sticks, you can see the helicopter doesn't correct. I have to push it back to flat and level. But as you can see, yes, I can actually fly a helicopter. I really like GPS mode though. I think the helicopter stays nice and coordinated and it makes you look like a better pilot than you are. And especially in today's wind, it's about 20-mile-an-hour gusts right now. And you can see the gyros keep it nice and steady, but I just look more professional without it. But there it is, this is just regular old 6-axis helicopter flying. And it flies great in this mode too. If you're actually somebody that knows how to fly helicopters, it flies great in this mode. There you go. Aha, y'all can't call me Captain Drone today. I'm actually flying it. Oh, it's windy. All right, but GPS mode, and just like that, we're back. Now, the cool thing is, if you're trying to really practice flying a helicopter, let's go back into full-on 6-axis gyro, so I'm flying the helicopter. Let's say I get in trouble. I don't know what's going on. I could just flip that switch back to GPS and let go, and that helicopter's gonna just stay wherever it is. You can see the wind really getting it aggressively. Now, you can always come in and land it. Let me show you that. So if we wanted to land it in GPS mode, you just bring it down like this, get your hand on the kill switch, and you come down and land it, just like that. It's on the ground. Now, the other option is we could be out here, maybe we're disoriented and we want to let the helicopter do it ourselves. See this switch right here that says return to home? If we flip that, I'm not going to touch this anymore. And I'll show you its return to home feature. It's going to come back to where it took off from. And say I don't like where it's coming down at. We're going to let it do its thing for a second. See, it's starting to descend. Now, if I don't like the angle, I could turn it into the wind, just like that. And if I don't like where it's going to land, I can use the other stick and maybe push it over a little bit. Or pull it back a little bit. You can see it's going to maintain and come down. I like to keep my hand on the cut. As soon as the helicopter's on the ground, I flip it to cut. Not before it's actually touching the ground though. On the ground, flip it to cut. Well, pilots, it's been my absolute pleasure showing you around the all-new BO-105. If you decided to get one of these, they're linked down in the description. And of course, you can always go to motionrc.com to check on the entire lineup of these RotorScale aircraft. At the time of making this video, they are in stock and shipping to customers. I'm so excited to see this line keep growing because I know a lot of guys are absolutely loving these models. As always, my name's Wes from motionrc.com, and whether it's air, land, or sea, you can get it right here at Motion RC. I'll see you in the next video, guys. Bye.